from Fricelli, and today we're talking watches. We're going to do a 2020 State of the Collection update on my personal watch collection. I'm not even wearing a watch on the wrist. I got them all out here today to show you. I did do a review, or a video rather, on my State of the Collection a few months ago, but since then I did sell a watch and acquire two, sort of three more. I'll explain the sort of in a bit, but before we get there, we'll talk about the watch that parted from the collection in 2019. That would be my Breitling Galactic, or my ex-Breitling Galactic 41. So this is a really cool polished stainless steel sports watch. I really like the double date display on the watch. Why I sold it? Well, I wish I had something exciting to tell you that I traded in for something really, really amazing that I've been pining for or searching for. But the reality is just had some real world adult stuff. I had to use the proceeds of the watch to pay for a new roof, which is not very exciting or fun, but again, just real world stuff. I did save some of the money from selling the watch to get two new pieces on a much lower end, but really fun pieces. We'll get to those in a second. Before we talk about the new watches, just want to talk about this Heuer Aqua Racer Caliber 5. And the reason why I want to talk about this watch is because it's really the one that started it all for me. I did what I thought was a lot of research on watches. Now I realize I knew a little bit, but there's just a very tip of the iceberg. Yet I'm pretty happy that this was the first purchase I got, because I do still really like the watch, and it's really encouraged me to invest into my watch collecting, knowing that I'm going to enjoy these things for years and years to come. So that is the Heuer Aqua Racer Caliber 5. I have it on a NATO strap. I got a few people asking on the review video of this watch about the NATO strap, so I actually added a link to purchase that in the description. It's less than 10 bucks on Amazon. To address some of the suspense, we'll talk about one of the new acquisitions. That is, my latest one is this Seiko 5 Sport. So this is a bit of a controversial watch because it replaced the cult classic beloved SKX. The reference I picked up is the SRPD 95. I really like the rubber bracelet on it. It's a cool looking watch. It's not super accurate or COSC certified. The bezel's slightly janky, but overall really cool watch. See-through case back. Automatic movement. It does allow for self-winding, which the SKX didn't, and you can of course shake it and wind it like a regular mechanical watch as well. Cool looking watch, really fun. It's a nice, I guess a nice beater watch, as people like to say, and so far really enjoying it. Up next is my Breitling Super Ocean 42. This watch is significant in the collection because it's when I first started kind of getting it with watches a little bit more and understanding more about them. So when I bought this watch, I knew that it wasn't really a true diver, because even though it had a helium escape valve, which is a high-end function on a dive watch, it does not have illumination on the bezel to mark your time, which would be very dangerous when actually diving. That being said, I just love the design on the watch. They address some of these things in the new model, but I just like the way this one looked. And sometimes you just gotta get the watch that you still need to wear it. No matter how much you know about it technically, you need to wear the watch, and this is a watch that I still really love today. It's really just really fun design, and I don't grow tired of it. Really glad I got this one. I don't see it going anywhere. Promise I've explained the sort of watch in my collection, and that's because this is technically not my watch, it's my dad's watch. But the funny story is he didn't even know he had it, or he kind of knew he had it and forgot about it. This thing has been sitting in a drawer for like 37 years. So when I found out about it, I checked it out, expressed interest, and did a review video on it. He's like, well, if you're gonna wear it, why don't you hold on to it and use it? So it's still his, but it's on semi-permanent loan to me, because he's not really a watch guy, and I think he appreciates that I'm getting more enjoyment out of it than he would, and it was a gift from my mother, so it's all within the family, so still has some special emotion attached to it, which is nice. I should probably mention what the watch is. It is a Citizen Eagle watch from the early 1980s. It's the Eagle To7 line. You can pick these up for like under 100 bucks. It's not real gold, it's just like a base metal with like a gold finish. But these watches are pretty neat looking. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's obviously very vintage style. The case reminds me of like the oyster quartz cases. And yeah, check these out on eBay and things like that. For 100 bucks, you have a pretty cool automatic, pretty accurate Japanese movement, double day and date display for under 100 bucks. Pretty neat. next we have my big red GShock watch from Casio, obviously. This watch still looks brand new. I don't even remember when I bought it, but it's like 8 or maybe even 10 years old. I don't recall ever replacing the battery either. I don't even know if that's possible. Maybe I did and I just don't remember. But I think the headline here is these watches are super, super rugged. Obviously it's a quartz movement. It's not a high-end mechanical movement or anything like that. But yeah, these things are really great for banging around. I actually use the watch a lot when playing sports and things like that. I wear the watch. Also, I use it as an extra timer when I'm cooking. If you look at my channel, I do a lot of cooking videos too, and it's nice to have an extra stopwatch around, and you don't really have to worry about it getting dirty or anything like that, because these things could be tossed in the mud and stomped on. So that's the GShock. I think also too, I don't want to talk too long about any individual watch, but I think you're a real watch guy when you have a GShock in your collection. Next we have the pride of the collection, my Rolex Explorer 2. It's a semi-vintage Rolex made in 1994. This is the reference number 16570. I got the white polar dial, which I just think is really classy, really cool. A little bit rarer on the side for Rolex because most of their sport watches have black dials, and it's really not blingy or showy. It's not like, oh, look at my flashy gold Rolex with diamonds on it. It's a really under the radar watch. Has its roots in exploration. That 24-hour hand is used to be AM, PM indicator if you're exploring in caves. So really, really neat stuff with the history of the watch. The finish on it's fantastic. It works so well. I really can't say anything bad about the watch. They have gone up in value since I bought them, which is cool for me, but I think overall it's not that cool because I would like to obtain more watches like this, and it's starting to get ridiculous. And I have no intentions of selling this one. So, but anyways, that is the Rolex Explorer 2, and hopefully I have this for the rest of my life. Saved one of my newer watches for last just because this watch actually has gotten the most views on the YouTube channel since we launched doing the reviews on this one. It is a Swatch, but it is a Swatch System 51. So if you're not familiar with it, Swatch is really known for their quartz watches, but they did come out with these watches, the System 51. It's a completely machine-made, mechanical, self-winding movement. The rotors on the outside of the movement, so you could see the whole movement through the see-through case back. Really neat watches. It's the first watch that has no human involvement in making the movement. The price is also really obtainable. These are start about $150. This was a Hodinkee Generation 1986 limited edition. That was a gift from my girlfriend. She knew I love Hodinkee and like their special edition watches. So this was a really amazing gift, my first special edition watch and my first see-through case back. Yes, it's a plastic swatch, but it's also a really cool collectible piece. And these are going for like triple what she paid for it on Chrono 24 and stuff. People are really crazy about these. I'm really happy I was able to get one, even though it's a plastic swatch. Really brings me joy, and I think that's really important for people that are starting to get into watch collecting. Yes, there's a lot of junk in the cheaper price points of watches, but there's a lot of great stuff too at very obtainable price points that bring you real joy. You don't have to be rich to be a watch collector and really enjoy it. So what's next? Well, ideally it would be one of the watches from my recent video, 6K Showdown, where I showed 3 watches around $6,000. The Rolex Explorer, the new one, not the Explorer 2, the regular Explorer. Grand Seiko Snowflake, that thing, the finish on that thing is just insane. And also the Moonwatch from Omega, the Speedmaster. I thought I was gonna get the Speedmaster. I was saving up for it. I was about to pull the trigger, but then I came across this Rolex for sale, certified pre-owned. Still have the green sticker on it. I'm glad I went with this and jumped on it because the Moonwatch has gone up a little bit in price, but this has gone up a lot in price. I still want the Moonwatch though. I don't have any chronographs in my collection, which is the stopwatch function. Obviously I have it on the GShock, but not on any mechanical watches, so I think it's probably close between the Moonwatch and the Spring Drive. Now, if I'm in a position where some time's gone by and I still haven't saved up enough, watch money for one of those watches, I'd probably look at something from Tudor or Nomos. I think they just have really great value propositions. Some really nice watches. They're not cheap, but they're a significant level down in price from some of the other manufacturers that frankly I don't think are that much better. So yeah, so that's where we have it. If you liked the video, please hit thumbs up, like, that would help me out a lot. This still is a very new channel. Also, if you subscribe, that would truly make my day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the collection, some of the watches you're looking at right now. We'd love to have a discussion about it. I absolutely love watches and love talking about them, so let's have a conversation in the comments. Thanks again, guys. Keep collecting, stay safe with the coronavirus and everything going on, and see you guys soon.